the year. Thank you for joining me, Tobes, right here on your daytime show, all with Ocky White Travel, celebrating 60 years of making those very special holiday dreams come true. Don't forget to enter into the competition now to win a cruise. Yes, you and another could be going on that holiday of a lifetime. Enter now at purewestradio.com and click on competitions. Now, I know a bunch of local residents that would love to have a holiday right now just to get away from the awful stench which has been ongoing around their properties now since the summer of last year. You may have seen the Stop the Stink campaign. Lots of us taking to social media recently, especially when the wind direction changed and we had a little waft of that in our homes, especially around sort of Haverfordwest and surrounding areas. So I've got local resident Colin Barnett joining me on the show here this morning. Hi, Colin.
Hi. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the daytime show today. One of your members got in touch with us over the weekend just to say we've got a public meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at Crundale Hall, which is fantastic. We need to talk about this, but most importantly, we wanted to find out more information about it in the first place because we covered it quite a bit. Even Paul Davis, our AM, we've run a new story on this one as he's called for the Welsh Government for some intervention on the Withyhedge Landfill issue. And you're one of the residents, one of the campaigners on this, Colin. So, I mean, where did it all begin?
Well, it's late last summer, really. It got really, really noticeable. I've been here for a couple of years, lived in here for a couple of years. Didn't even know we'd got a landfill until then. But then we started noticing a really sulphurous odour every now and again. But then it got really frequent and more so towards Christmas. It got almost daily where we were experiencing this bad smell. And it turns out from conversation, we discovered the landfill was there and that's where the smell was originated from.
So, I mean, you didn't even realise it was there when you first moved down, no. And all of a sudden, you've got this horrible, horrible stench in the air.
You couldn't even see it from the road on the A40 originally, but within the last 6 months of the year, that you could see this mound starting to grow in the fields, across the fields, and that was the landfill. It got higher and higher and higher.
So, I mean, we've been reading in various different places that they've punched the landfill, and that's what's creating all the odours. Is that right?
We don't know the ins and outs in a lot of detail. We know that we've got engineers on the site. They're re-engineering the site, trying to get rid of the smell. Historically, it's had hazardous waste on that site. This new owner has got a permit for non-hazardous waste. But we've all inherited the smell from that tip. And it seems to be that the old cell that was not capped properly was being filled by the new owner constantly on top of it before the new cell was for the rubbish he was bringing in wasn't ready yet. So that's why the mound grew so much. And we ended up with a severe problem of the stink that's really affected so many people over at least a 5 square mile radius.
Wow, yeah, I mean it's quite the smell when the wind direction changes as well. More people smell it for the first time, and it's not pleasant.
No, it really is acrid, and you can feel it, almost taste it when it's. I mean, you can wake up after it's seeped into your house at night, and all you can smell or taste is the smell of sulphur, rotten eggs, and you can't get rid of it. You can't open the windows to get rid of it. Can't waft it out. It's there. It's almost attached to your skin.
I mean, I assume you can't put your clothes out to dry. You can't really go out in the garden and enjoy a bit of fresh air because you've got that constant stench.
Absolutely. And everybody's got a statutory right to enjoy their own property and their garden environment. There's a duty of local authority to make sure that that statutory act is available to us. And clearly over the last few months, we've discovered that doesn't apply to the residents surrounding Withyhedge because we've asked for our statutory duty to be followed up on and got no response from the local authority. We've just got passed on to the NRW as the environmental regulators.
So where is the landfill then, Colin? I mean, Withyhedge might be quite a new name to a lot of people. I mean, obviously, here at Pure West, we know about lots of wonderful, weird and wacky names, and Withyhedge might be a new one to a lot of people.
It was new to me as well until I started smelling the stink. In fact, I drove past it daily. It's right by the turn off on the A40 by the corner piece pub. On the right hand side, you'll see a mound there with some. Now you've got diggers on top of it trying to dig down and get it a bit lower. But that's where the tip is. But you get access to it via the Rudbaxton Road, which is just a bit before the turn off of the corner piece. and you go down the lane there, and on the left you'll find the entrance to the site.
So, I mean, what health implications does this have for people? Because, I mean, there's one thing, I guess, smelling it, but I mean, there's been reports of headaches, people having migraines, sore throats.
Whoever you talk to at the moment, the research is really poor in this country on landfill and the impact of landfill. But whoever you talk to that's got some ownership or a stakeholder of some process of the waste will say it's not harmful to your health. But we know from a fact, because we've lived in it, that we have had headaches. We have had sore throats. We had lots of comments on our Facebook site. We did a quick straw poll on the site itself, and 31% of those that responded said that it's given them headaches. There's about 18%, I think, said they had got breathing difficulties with it. So we are having an impact from it, not just physical. There's a mental health and well-being impact as well, because there's an anxiety around all of the unknowns and the lack of response and support from public services. That heightens that anxiety, which can be a trigger to underlying conditions in your own health condition anyway. So there's a lots of issues that need to be taken on board that we're tonight at the public meeting going to make them very aware that have not been picked up and responded to appropriately by our local public services.
So what's been done then, Colin? I mean, I assume you've obviously spoken to Pembrokeshire County Council, local MPs. I mean, Paul Davis, the AM, called that out in the Senate. Absolutely. So it's, people are aware of this.
They are, but they're only really talking about it because of the strength of the campaign. Within a couple of weeks, we've got over 1,000 members on the Facebook site. It's grown to 1,500 people now. We've all been writing and reporting. We've been very actively contacting people with what's been happening. Getting very little feedback from anybody, mind you, that's of any use. But now that we've spoken to the regulators, NRW, about what's been happening on the site, and originally the owner of the site had responded and come up with a plan to eliminate the smell short term, and that would have been done possibly this month or early next month, and be resolved. But the NRW looked at it, and their engineers said that's not a long-term solution. The smell's likely to come back, so they've had to go back and come up with a new plan and re-engineer it, and that's what they're working on at the moment, digging down into the cell, trying to cap it properly. I'm not an expert on this. This is a layman's interpretation, and they should, by April the 5th, have resolved the problem smell-wise for us. That's not to say it's going to eliminate it. It's what they call resolve, really. We're waiting to find out. So the campaign has got a lot of momentum at the moment, and we're building towards that final date when it should be resolved.
I mean, often in many cases like this, Colin, when we have guests on such like yourself, nothing's been done about it at all. So I guess it's great that it seems like the site manager is there's a plan being hatched. There is hopefully some resolution, but I guess at the moment to you and the local residents, not really a huge amount of reassurance, because you can still smell it. You're not sure about what future issues might have.
I don't want to raise hopes. Because there's a huge trust issue here with us as residents, and what we've seen happening, what we've experienced happening. Everybody's seen the large number of Atlantic recycling trucks hammering it down on the A40. That a lot of the waste is coming from Cardiff. We've got waste on that site. It's come from Newport. A coal firing plant where they've got ash power from power stations that have come in. So there's rubbish coming in on the A40 from all over the place at the moment. And we think that somebody really needs to have a look at this properly and find out why this stuff is coming from so far away and being dumped in our local tip without proper regulation and proper monitoring. So I'm not raising hopes or hopes that this is going to get fixed, because we don't trust the situation at the moment. Our experience is we've not had the response we want. We've been talked to, we've been told it's not damaging our health. We know that's different from our own experience. We know other things because people have spoken to us in the background. So we're watching what happens, and we're going to stay here and make sure we get the results that we want to for the residents of the local community.
Well, I hope the public meeting tonight is well attended and you find it very useful. It's happening at Crundale Hall tonight, Crundale Village Hall at 7 p.m. If you're being affected by this, you can join Stop the Stink. You can also find out more details online on the Facebook page as well. Well done, Colin, to spearheading this. Someone's got to sort of take the lead on these situations, and let's hope that some resolute is in the pipeline, because it's not nice for you and the residents, this, is it? You know, I mean, you never move, especially, you know, as you've come into Pembrokeshire from further afield. You know, this is a beautiful part of the world. It's, you know, we've got the national park as our wonderful coastline. You know, you don't sort of expect these things to happen in the countryside.
No, you don't. Definitely don't. It's right on the edge of the national park. I just want to thank Pure West Radio for hosting this. The more people that talk about it, the more we're going to get done about it. We're not going to go away. And those people on the panel tonight, we've got some esteemed guests there, need to be sure and aware that we're not going away.
And rightly so. You need this sorting, and rightly so. I mean, I think anyone that's watching this or listening, you know, just take a moment to think. Imagine if you lived near a landfill site and you had to deal with this horrible stench most days. Awful. It's truly horrendous. Colin, thanks for popping into the studio and having a chat with us about it today. And yeah, good luck with the meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Stop the Stink campaign. Can you do your bit? Can you help? If so, reach out and get in touch with us here at Pure West Radio. Maybe you're a specialist in this kind of field. Maybe you've come across an issue like this before somewhere else. Well, they need your help. And just take a minute, like I said, to think on how this would impact you and your family's life if you were living near that landfill site. Crundale Village Hall tonight at 7 o'clock is where you need to go for the public meeting. It's PWR for Pembrokeshire Local Artist of the Week. Matt Baker's on the way next.
Ocky White Travel, celebrating 60 years of making holiday dreams come true with prizes and offers. Proud sponsor